Welcome to We Connect. With world economy spiraling downwards, we thought that on our show today it would be a very good idea for us to get a better sense of what's happening, and who better to tell us about this than Mr. Venketrama. He's the Vice Chairman of Ramco Systems. So thank you very much for having us here in your beautiful office. Tell me, what kind of impact does all of this have to you in your industry?
I think what the world economy is going through now, I think is going to put in a sort of a uncertain mindset to lots of CEOs. Because I don't think we have a sense of what's going to happen, because these sort of political, economic and terror, all these things combined, I think we've never seen it before.
So it's a feeling of unease then, really,
yes.
isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So, but in the business world, which direction do you actually see it taking, or is that not a very good question to be asking you?
No, I think the lucky thing is, I think in India, the engine is really moving. I mean, you still have 5, 6, 7% growth being predicted by various people. So I think we are hopeful that the Indian market, especially for our various businesses, is going to be robust and that it's going to grow. Apart from that, the world market is going to look at how do you save money in various things, how do you save cash, so that we see through this whole downturn or this period of uncertainty. So in these twin things, we see some sort of an opportunity for Ramco Systems, because what we are creating, I think, can dramatically alter the economics of the enterprise software industry,
right,
is what we believe.
Right, but now you are in software, a very big player in the industry. Do you really, in point of fact, see that the software industry is actually stagnant? I mean, is it at that level? Do you see it going upwards? Do you see it going downwards?
See, the first thing to realize is that Ramco Systems is a software products company, and most of the Indian companies are basically IT services company.
Right.
So the IT services company, the economics and what drives them will probably be different from what drives a software products company. I think mainly what a software products company mainly has been driven by when people want to change the way they do business, or they want to upgrade their technologies, which has been been used for many years, and so on and so forth. Apart from that, I think they also want to see whether they can now go to newer technologies so that they can reduce costs. So these are the driving forces. While in the IT services business, it's all about cost control, maintenance, yes, and also now coming into the global politics and so on and so forth.
Right.
But given even in the IT services company, I see that there's no reason why they need not grow, because given the global economy and the way the cost controls are coming in Europe and things like that, the ever increasing pressure to drive down costs is there. And still outsourcing to India or the Asian countries, still economically a very compelling reason for these companies. So I don't see them stagnating. There'll still be growth, but the growth rates would probably have come down because it's maturing.
Right. You just mentioned the word Asia. So my next logical question would be, as a software products company, do you see any major competition from the rest of Asia? I mean, for instance, Southeast Asia, for instance, China. Give us a perspective.
See, for software products, the important thing is Ramco Systems is in the enterprise solutions business.
Okay.
Enterprise solutions business is a very complex area of software. There are many companies which say they are ERP products, but our definition of an ERP is just not an accounting product or a manufacturing solution or a logistics solution.
Then what is it, sir?
It is an integrated solution right from boardroom to shop floor.
Okay. So
that means it covers all aspects of business. So what it entails is, if I enter information in one portion of the company, what are the implications of that information in your further processing across the company? They're all integrated. So there are very few large software companies in the world. And the leading players are probably Americans and Germans. And the scale of software which can run large enterprises are very few, just 2 or 3 companies left in the world now. So what Ramco Systems has done is, we've done years of research to see, can we play in that market? And it usually takes a decade or two to actually create the credibility for people to really say, okay, this company can really give us that detailed, powerful software which we can trust on. So we have been working at it for many years with the R&D, but because when we come in, we can't just give what the traditional ERP players are giving. We have to give something fundamentally different. So what we opted to do is, ERP is a very manually intensive product where lots of people need to support it, people are needed to keep on programming it to improve the product. Many people are required even to implement it and manage it and so on and so forth. So what we said is, what is that architecture and technology we can bring in where we can dramatically reduce the number of people to create such a software, manage such a software and so on. So we think we've reached an order of magnitude difference in the economics of creating, managing and deploying the software.
Right. Now, by your own inference, you obviously believe that your company actually has a staying power.
Correct.
To be in this game.
Correct.
So are you saying that you really do not face any stiff competition from, say China or Southeast Asia? Give me a feel of that.
So, yeah, the important point here is, given this economics and the modern architecture we bring in, such a scale of software, I don't think is available. We don't see that competition either in India or Asia or China or so forth, apart from the American and German companies, the top 2 or 3 of them, who have the features and the set, but they are more traditional software. Hyper modern architecture with the kinds of economics we are talking about, and with the ability to go into the cloud. And we'll come shortly to about what I mean by ability to go to the cloud, which cloud ERP, cloud computing everybody is talking about. I'll come shortly to that, what I mean by that. So I don't see that kind of software available with any other player in these markets. So the question is, how quickly will such an architecture and a completely different way of thing being adopted, and how quickly will people look at this software and say, okay, yes, we can move from traditional software safely to this sort of company and architecture, so that we can reap a different kind of benefit, is the basic waiting game and the selling game we are in now.
Right. Do you believe that in your industry, your own company, other companies, do you believe that India has achieved? I mean, I know we've come a huge way from where we started, but do you think that now Indian companies and the whole Indian environment is looked on with a different, a different viewpoint as we kind of take our place in the global markets of the world?
I think Indian companies, to be fair, have done extremely well in the services industry.
Really?
And they have actually been looked on as a very good, reliable place to go to dramatically reduce our costs, have good services, because you need volumes of people to handle these complex software, and it can get very expensive with the Western cost structure. So, and to get the quality and the lower cost structure, which is required to be economically run these sort of enterprise solutions, is what India has excelled in. But I don't think India, in the eyes of people, has been seen as an innovator in terms of creating fundamentally new architecture, fundamentally new products and so on. And the fact that we have done in years of work and actually come up with such an architecture and product, which probably people are starting to think is world class and quite radical and revolutionary, a lot of people look at it with surprise. So
Right.
they don't expect India to have come up with this deep investment in R&D.
Right. We'll come back and talk about that, taking a very short break here and reconnect and get right back with you. So you please don't go anywhere.